Thank you for coming. I'm the head counselor here. My name is Yoshida, and I'm a UC Berkeley graduate, so I know a lot about UC. So today, I will cover the STEM-related subject, but I'll first cover how to make yourself qualified for UCs, because once you're qualified for UC science STEM majors, you're mostly qualified for top schools in STEM areas. I say that because for UCs, it's very important for you to know exactly what area in engineering you want to go. They don't like to take undecided engineering majors because it is so hard to survive. 2.0 GPA is average in engineering schools in top UC campuses. But for other schools, oftentimes, even the top Ivy League schools, if you go for engineering, they will put you first in the first year engineering program without a specific major. That's to prepare you for a very rigorous engineering education and to let you explore which area of engineering is meant for you. UC's, unfortunately, it's a big public school system, doesn't tend to give you enough time to do that. That means you have to be prepared. When you go in, you have to be prepared. So it's not that the STEM is the most difficult subject to go into, it's just a difficult subject to survive through. And because of the sheer number of students applying to that major, competition is high. So I like to cover how to make yourself a very good candidate for those programs. Okay. Next, very simple fact. What is a good application? You have to apply to colleges, you have to fill out application forms. What's a good application? Very simple. It means it covers, complete application that covers every area required for the application. And while it sounds very easy, it actually isn't. Because depending on the college, they have different elements on the application forms, and you have to be prepared to fill them out. That means you have experiences and activities that fit into those categories. And also there's such thing as requirements. Many students look at the statistics and say, okay, from my school, with this SAT I have, and GPA I have, so many students got into this college. That's just a number that qualifies, that meets the requirement. That doesn't mean that you're well qualified to beat that competition. So good application means you have every area covered, and then you go beyond minimum requirement. So let's look at UC admissions. The minimum requirement, your GPA has to be 3.0 based on the 10th grade and 11th grade courses you have taken. This includes honor courses, AP classes, and many of you I know concerned that UCs cap the honors and AP classes when they calculate their GPAs, but do not worry about it, the more the better, because they would also consider the fact how many APs and honor courses you have taken, including college courses you have taken outside, as long as it's a UC transferable college courses. And coursework A to G, there is a minimum requirement, such as 4 years of English, 3 years of mathematics, 2 years of life sciences. That's just minimum requirement. You need to go above and beyond what is required and finish them by 11th grade. SAT and ACT test, you must report all SAT and ACT scores no matter what. So if you have taken SAT twice, ACT 3 times, and let's say your ACT is a better score, you still have to report those scores. It's just a requirement, and many students say, why do I have to report these scores? I don't know, that's a requirement, right? So you have to meet the requirement, make sure you do that. They would only look at the highest SAT or ACT scores. Don't worry if you don't have a high score here and there. It's not their concern. They're mostly concerned that you do what they ask you to do. So if you don't send all the scores when they ask you to do it, you disqualify. Okay. So SAT 2 subject test. Mathematics, like many students get 800 by taking Peter's class. Many students get 800 in physics and biology and chemistry from Sherwold. Those are not required by UCs. It's just highly recommended if you're going into STEM areas. So biology, chemistry, or math, physics, math level 2. Okay? That's required no matter which area of STEM you might want to go to. Math, not required, highly recommended. And chemistry or physics, I say chemistry or physics because Other schools, engineering schools, tend to require either chemistry or physics if you are going to choose engineering major. So why not choose this one? And if you're at top 50% of the graduating class, you are most likely to be recommended to UCs to fit into this category of local eligibility. The UC, after you submit your application from the UCs, would calculate and see if you are the top 9% of the California school systems, and then you are supposed to be guaranteed one UC campus. But that guaranteed campus tends to be the bottom ones, so may not be the ones you might want to go into, or you might want to click on your application form if you're going more for the higher ranking. But just the fact to qualify to this gives extra qualifications. So you really want to do well in your high school. Okay. Next one. So UC looks at 14 factors to evaluate your application. First, the total meaning grade point average, test scores, and courses completed, how many honor classes you have taken. They also look at what classes you're taking in 12th grade, although they do not look at the transcript. They just want to know that you are continuing to take challenging classes in your senior year. So out of those 14, geographic location do not apply to you because you come from the Silicon Valley area where resources are available. So if this one doesn't apply to you, then what applies is academic opportunities in California high schools, because there are so many opportunities available in this area. And if you don't take advantage of this to do a special project, or to improve your academic performance, to show your talent in engineering and sciences, you are not going to be a very strong candidate from this area. Okay. So you need to focus on, as a student coming from the Silicon Valley where the academic is very competitive, you need to really bring your grade point average high, particularly in the core subject areas. Okay, that means science and mathematics, social sciences, and English. Particularly science, you need to take honor courses and AP courses. Your test score needs to go up very high. If you look at the statistics, they give you average 25 percentile to 75 percentile. From this area, you have to be always looking at the highest end. And talent achievement hours, you really would like to go into the national level on competitions like robotics. Even robotics, speech and debate, if you did as a group project, that is to your honor on the application form. So I recommend that you join. If your school has a very competitive clubs, activities, take advantage of it. Academic accomplishment, research, internship. Cosmos is a California UC sponsored summer camp that is very popular. YSP is also at UC Davis. It's a 6-week summer research camp that is very nice. That's very nice. Most students who are accepted and going to YSP would end up being in the Ivy League level schools. And many students apply, many of our students apply every year, and many of them do get in. The application process is almost like college applications. You need to have good grades, write very good essays, and have some experience in the STEM area to qualify. And of course, quality of senior year studies, you have to be taking AP classes and maybe college classes in the area of your interest if time allows. So it's a lot to do. So you need to decide where your strength is and focus on your strengths and area of interest. If you're not interested in physics, why take physics and suffer, right? So if you're not interested in chemistry, why take chemistry? Just because AP chemistry is offered at your school, there are other areas maybe you can focus. So you need to spend your time wisely and plan and invest your time and effort in areas where you can stand out. So this is the criteria UC look at, and what I mean by complete application, you have to fill this out. UC happens to have an area to click this. So if you've been into it and you have one thing that you can click and not leave not filled, right? So that's what I mean. Every portion of the application should be filled. Okay, next one. Oh, okay, so let's talk about engineering schools and STEM majors. First of all, like I said, there is a first-year engineering programs at many schools, because what they're looking at in this case is not that you already know exactly what you want to do, but to show that you are capable of handling the very rigorous engineering program. You need to show your math strengths, go beyond calculus BC if possible. Many of our students finish calculus BC already in 11th grade, and 12th grade they take multivariables or something beyond. Of course, I'm not saying everybody should do it. If you get straight A's in calculus BC, that is fine. But if you happen to be advanced in math, or if you have the ability to do so, try to go beyond calculus BC. AMC and AME, those are math competitions. Many of you, I'm sure, have taken in middle school, AMC 8, and then AMC 10 in high school and 12. Beyond that, you go to AME and Math Olympiad. So those are not required, but very highly recommended, because MIT, Carnegie Mellon, and Yale universities have a place to put it on the application form. So as an experience, it's something nice to have, because they can then look at it. Physics. If you're going for engineering, physics is a very important subject. So AP Physics, I recommend you take it. One thing you need to be careful is when to take it. Shall I take it in 10th grade? Or shall I take it in 11th grade? Or shall I wait to take it until 12th grade? That depends on which area of engineering you want to go to. So if you want to go into mechanical engineering, yes, you should take physics earlier. If you want to if you're thinking about becoming a bioengineering, maybe you need AP biology before that. So physics is one subject that is critical, but it's also critical to decide when to take it. So we always have conferences with our students in February when you're choosing the next year's coursework to decide when this is going to happen. SAT 2, should you take chemistry or physics? Because let's say MIT, Carnegie Mellon says take either chemistry or physics. Which one do I take? It's up to you. Take the one that you're good at. Just don't take multiple SAT 2 subjects, because College Board officially wouldn't allow you to send more than 6 scores. So they say I want to take mathematics, but I didn't do it. I'm going to take it twice. I'm going to take chemistry. I'm going to take it twice. I'm going to take physics. I'm going to take it twice. I also want to take SAT Chinese. You can take it, but the problem may happen when you want to send the scores to colleges. So SAT 2 subject test is also very important. You make a plan and make sure that first time you get a very high score. Then, when you apply to colleges, what happens with the evaluation process? Grade in STEM areas. Even if you have the same GPA with other candidates, they would look at what is your math scores, what is your science scores. So STEM area subject test scores and areas GPA is very important. If, let's say, you got unlucky, you were sick that day, your SAT scores just didn't do well, or you had a very bad teacher and didn't do well in calculus class in 11th grade, you could still supplement it with other evidences of strengths in your STEM areas. That's maybe you can take an online course in another subject or math. You can take a college class during the summer just to supplement your weakness that way. And evidence of consistent interest in STEM. So you studied at 9th grade summer, you went to some summer camp, 10th grade summer, you went to job shadow some engineers. You just need to have a consistent interest showing on your application starting from 9th grade or even earlier. They just don't like to be something like, I all of a sudden became interested in science. That happens a lot. That happens a lot to students, but it's going to make it a little difficult for you to compete against other students who had been planning to go into that major. So if all of a sudden you say, oh, I took AP biology in 11th grade, it was very inspiring, and I want to go into a biology major or bioengineering major. At that point, we have to really sit down and review your application process to make sure that you can compete against other very strong candidates. And okay, I'm a very good student. I have very high scores, I have very high GPAs. I did all these things, but at the end of the day, you don't want to say I did all that because my parents told me to do so. You want to say I did it because I love it. I love mathematics. I like to teach mathematics to children. I like to do chemistry experiment. It just makes me so happy. Because unless you're happy and passionate, you're not going to survive. And so, demonstrate your love. How do you demonstrate it? You have to get more involved at school in related clubs. You have to participate in summer activities. Okay, must participate in other competitions. You just have to show it through your actions that you really love and you have a consistent interest in that subject. Speed of creativity and innovation. Engineering is an art of creation. So you have to show this in your essay. This is the difficult part, but you have to do it. So that's what the 12th graders are doing now. And we are editing their essays every day, every night. This is very important. You also have to have an engineering vision, meaning what am I going to do with my skills in engineering? What am I going to become if I become a programmer? What do I want to program? What area in computer science do I want to go? Because computer science is not just computer science. They're going to have computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, combination of computer science and electrical engineering. Depending on the college, depending on the school, there are subdivisions in these areas. And in the supplementary essays, you're going to be asked, why did you pick that particular area of study? Show us your interest and show us what you want to do. What is your vision? What will you be doing in 10 years later? It's not enough just to say, oh, computer science is a very interesting field. It's an area that covers everything. It's behind everything these days. It's just not enough to make you a very strong candidate. You have to know more in detail and more exactly what you wish to do for the world. Okay. So let's see, to show your interest and passion, you need to go to competitions. What kind of competitions are available? A lot of them are available. AMC, AME, with some we talked about. There's robotics, there's hackathons, there's USACO, USA Computer Science on here. Tech Challenge by Tech Museum. Technovation, this is for girls. Zero Robotics by MIT. MIT Maker Portfolio. What is MIT Maker Portfolio? It's a part of the MIT's application form. If you have worked on any creative project, you can videotape it and attach it to your application and they'll review it. And this has worked out very well for students going in to apply to early action to MIT. It does take time because you have to first have a project and you have to videotape it, edit it, and make it a high quality video that they can review. So this is not something you can all of a sudden do at the end of 11th grade. You need to make a plan to do this. So this is just some of the examples of the famous and popular competitions and projects you could potentially be doing as a STEM major. So, in addition to that, you need to show real-world experiences, not just in the classroom, but you have applied your knowledge. College level research. Yeah, did you do that? Did you go to pre-college sessions offered by many different colleges in many different areas? How about internship? How about work experience? Work experience is actually very good. Tech-related community services. Have you done anything that is tech-related, computer science-related, engineering-related work? So you need to take initiatives and show your actions. You can't just say, I like STEM. My parents told me to apply. So that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. Okay. Okay. So what is this? What is this? It's a penguin. Yes. Do you know the expression first penguin? First penguin? Okay. So penguins, when they're sitting, they're in groups, right, in a pack. And there's always a first penguin that jumps in the water to make sure that it's safe. They don't voluntarily jump. Some other penguins kick them in. So the first penguin is the one that takes the risk. However, if there's no danger there and there's a lot of fish there, he gets the most. So it's important to be the first penguin when you're willing to take the risk because the return is big. And so, how can you be the first penguin? Early action, early decision. There's such thing for college applications. So early action, early decision, there are two things. One, you can hear from them early. Two, it's a calibrator of your application strengths. So let's say I'm going to apply to 10 different schools, but this is my low target school. I'm going to do early action to this school to see if my application goes through. If it doesn't go through, well, maybe I need to do a little bit more, or I need to add more schools. If it's a high target school, you did early action, you get in, you say, great, my application home is impact, it's good, I'm a good candidate. So in the middle of the season, it's a very good thing to do, to know where you stand. Now, early decision has a much higher acceptance rate because you're committing yourself to that school. So if there's a school you really want to go to, you should go for it. One thing I do not want you to do is, I don't know what school I'm going to do early decision. As long as it's Ivy League, it's fine. I'm going to any school, I can get in. So Yoshida, please decide which one. Because I cannot guarantee if you're going to be happy there. I want you to look at the school first, get the feeling, talk to the professors, because all these schools have two different tours. One is a general campus tour. The other one is a campus tour focused on engineering majors. And you get to hear a lot about their programs when you participate in these tours. So if you're considering early decision, please do visit the school as much as it is possible. If it's not possible for you to visit, most of these schools do come to this area in the early fall seasons to talk to you. Many you probably have already visited your high school. So get to know the college so that you can be the first penguin to do the early action for early decision and get that big return for you. So to prepare for early actions and early decisions that is due, October 15th, one school is due today. So many students are actually doing that, that's Georgia Tech. And then November 1st is another early action deadline. So visit the college website very often. Why do you need to do that? Start now, because that website is often updated with the newest technology, newest research, professors that they want you to know. They don't put anything that they don't want you to know. So whatever is on their website is what you want to know, what you want to include in your essays. Keep checking their website to see the update and find out what kind of research they're doing, if it's in line with what you may want to do in the future. Take advantage of college night, college fairs that's taking place, I think, just about this time at different colleges. Go visit different colleges' booths, meet with admission leaders. Keep up with the tech news. Okay, what's happening now? What is Apple making now? What is this company doing now? What's happening in other countries? Keep up with those news, because then you have very good material to start your essays with when the time comes. So it's very important for you to keep up with what's going on now in the world of technology to write a good essay. Okay. So there's a lot of things you need to do. Of course, the most important thing is to keep a good grade. But statistics just the numbers. So many parents come and say, okay, from my high school last year, this many students applied to this school, this many got in, this many attended. That's just numbers. Those numbers do not reflect individual differences and your qualities and characters. So statistics just for your reference. Don't base your decision on those statistics. Base your decision on your own ability and your passions. So build on your own forte and show experiences and skills. For STEM measures, you cannot avoid being a good candidate without showing your experience in the area, showing your skills. Okay? How many computer languages do you know? What kind of applications have you built? Those are going to be essential. Okay? So that's all I would like to say today. And if you have any more questions, I'll be around the office area all day today. And you can always email to Charlotte and I'll try to answer your questions as much as I can.